License, trying to build a business. Online, we found his website, Buck City Kennels, on the opening property last month. Officer Carrie Bayless told the judge on Givens's property she found dogs caged in a garage, lying deep in their own feces.
The amount of feces buildup that was found in those crates took days in some cases to have built up.
Bayless said most of the dogs were emaciated and some had cigarette burns, pellet gun wounds, and scars on their faces and muzzles.
The scarring is certainly consistent with what we see in dogs that have been fought on a regular basis.
But what you don't see right now is inside the garage where authorities say they found dozens of starving dogs and many of them in need of medical care.
Cameras.
Were you actually dogfighting? These are just a couple of the 49 dogs rescued from this house on Portland Avenue in Tacoma. The home that they were taken from looks like any other on this block, but from the air, the backyard is a maze of outdoor cages, where authorities say some of the pit bulls lived. Most were locked inside this garage, windows covered, no light or ventilation. Sheriff's Department spokesman Ed Troyer says they were malnourished and lying in their own filth.
They were deplorable conditions. I mean, the dogs were living in small cages in the dark, no heat, inside their own urine and feces.
Authorities also say there was evidence that Elmer James Givens Jr., the man who lives here, was engaging in dogfighting, from syringes to medication, first aid kits, and training equipment. We checked Givens' criminal history and found a 2004 misdemeanor charge for failure to care for an animal and animal in unsanitary conditions.
You're a punk.
I know.
Little
to the court. He says he worked to become a breeder, and that is the reason for the number of dogs he had in his possession. Givens says he loves his animals and has made changes since last month to provide better standards for the dogs. However, the judge ruled against Givens' request.
You know, I'm just asking for the mercy of the court, you know, to let me get my dogs back and restore, you know, my life.
The court has serious concerns about them suffering future neglect or abuse, because I didn't hear from you a good solid plan going forward.
Is now accused of training and abusing the pit bulls for the brutal sport of dogfighting. This is inside the dark garage where Pierce County animal control officers say they found dozens of dogs with little or no ventilation. If you look closely, you see the dogs in these crates. Authorities say they were living in their own urine and feces.
They rated all of the dogs in either poor or very poor condition. Most of them were malnourished. They were covered in scars, had some open wounds.
Not only is the Pierce County Sheriff's Office accusing the owner of animal cruelty, but the Washington State Gambling Commission says they obtained dogfighting paraphernalia inside the home.
This includes medications, syringes, first aid supplies, and also some training tools. Dogfighting and other animal fighting is solely done for the purpose of gambling. So we definitely know that there's probably other players involved here. So we'll be looking at some of the records.
They're looking through digital evidence, but also have images like this. One of 49 rescued dogs, you can see her chained to the ground, her bones sticking out, malnourished.
I don't know how to put that into words. I want to cry. That's how I feel.
Sarah Ayers lives in the neighborhood, but says she never saw anything suspicious, much less had any idea that 49 pit bulls were living so close.
If I could, I would go rescue them all right now. If I had the space, because no dog should have to live like that. Because they all need to be loved.
Some of the dogs in really bad condition were taken to a local vet for medical care. The others were taken to Tacoma Humane Society. We also know that at least 3 of the pit bulls recently gave birth to puppies. So we know that there were some young dogs involved here. Now the man facing multiple charges for this, but we are